I told my husband if he sends his family one more dollar, I am filing for divorce. Yeah, I know how that sounds. Cold, heartless, maybe even cruel. But no one sees what is happening behind closed doors. We are already drowning. One income, two kids, and a life that is hanging on by a thread. So tell me, at what point does helping his family mean destroying ours? We have two kids, and our youngest is nonverbal. That alone changed everything. I used to work. I had my own income, my own routine, my own sense of control. But when it became clear how much care our youngest needed, I had to step away. There was not really a choice. So now everything falls on my husband. One income, and somehow 1,000 responsibilities. Bills keep stacking up: rent, therapy, groceries, medical appointments, things most people do not even think about. And every month it feels like we are holding our breath, just hoping nothing unexpected happens. Our days are exhausting in ways that are hard to explain. There is no real off time, no breaks, just constant attention, constant worry, constant adjustment. And lately it has been getting worse. We are in the middle of downsizing right now. Packing up pieces of our life, not because we want a fresh start, but because we cannot afford to stay where we are anymore. Every decision we make now is about survival. Every dollar has a purpose. Every hour is already spoken for. And somehow, despite all of that, his family still thinks we have more to give. His mom is not doing well. It did not happen all at once. At first, it was small things: forgetting where she put her keys, repeating the same question twice, laughing it off like it was nothing. But then it started getting harder to ignore. She would call and ask the same thing 3 times in one conversation. She would forget appointments. Forget what day it was. Some days she seems almost like herself. She can hold a conversation, recognize people, even joke a little. And then there are days where she looks confused in her own living room, like something just is not connecting anymore. She is in that in-between stage, not completely gone, but not fully here either. She still recognizes her apartment, her neighborhood, the routines she has had for years. But the truth is, she is only managing because everything around her stays exactly the same. Because his siblings are doing everything they can to keep her there. And when I say everything, I mean everything. They have rearranged their lives, their time, their finances. They are paying for extra help, covering rent, handling groceries, checking in constantly. And it is not coming from savings. It is credit cards, loans, money they do not actually have. All of it just to avoid putting her in a care home. Because to them, that feels like giving up, even if what they are doing now is slowly breaking them. And part of what makes all of this harder is knowing how they got here in the first place. Because it is not like there was nothing. There was money, savings, a safety net that should have been there for moments exactly like this. But it is gone now. When his dad got sick, everything changed. Instead of sticking with what doctors recommended, he went all in on alternative treatments. Expensive ones, unproven ones. The kind that promise hope but drain everything you have. And no one could talk him out of it. He was desperate, scared, clinging to anything that sounded like a chance. But at the same time, he never changed the things that were actually hurting him. He was still smoking constantly, pack after pack every single day. It did not make sense. And if I am being honest, part of me still feels frustrated about that. Because in the end, they spent everything trying to fix one problem while ignoring another. And now, there is nothing left. No savings. No backup plan. Just the consequences falling on everyone else. And that is the part no one wants to say out loud. This did not just happen. But now we are all expected to carry it. At first, it did not feel like pressure. It felt like concern. His siblings were already stepping in more and more, covering her rent when she came up short, paying for groceries, hiring someone to check on her during the day. And at first, it seemed manageable. But then the cracks started to show. One night, his brother called. I could hear the exhaustion in his voice even from across the room. He mentioned putting another charge on his credit card just to cover a caregiver for the week. Another time, his sister casually brought up taking out a small loan. She laughed when she said it, but it did not sound like a joke. It sounded like someone trying not to panic. They kept saying the same thing: it is temporary. Just until things stabilize. Just until we figure something else out. But nothing was stabilizing. The costs kept growing. The needs kept increasing. And every solution they came up with just bought a little more time. At a price. And slowly that weight started shifting. Because once you are already sacrificing that much, it becomes harder to understand why someone else is not doing the same. Even if they cannot. Even if it would break them too. And that is when the tone started to change. Less understanding. More expectation. Like if they were willing to go into debt for her, then everyone else should be willing to do the same. I started noticing the shift in how they talked to him. It was not direct at first, not outright demands. More like comments. Little things that did not sound harsh on the surface, but carried weight underneath. One night he put his phone down and just stared at the table. I asked what was wrong. He hesitated, then said my sister just asked if I could step up a little more. That phrasing again. A little more. Later, I overheard part of a call. His brother's voice was tight, controlled. We are all doing what we can, he said. I just do not get why you cannot do the same. There was a pause. Then we are not asking for anything crazy. Just help. But it did not feel like a request. It felt like a test. And every time he tried to explain our situation, it was like they were not really hearing him. Well, we are struggling too. You think this is easy for us? She is our mom. That one always landed the hardest. Because what do you even say to that? Of course she is. Of course he cares. But somehow caring was not enough anymore. Now it had to be proven, measured, in money, in time, in sacrifice. And every conversation left him quieter than before. Like he was being slowly convinced that no matter what he did, it would never be enough. Then one night he said something that made my stomach drop. He did not say it dramatically, did not make a big deal out of it, just casually. I have been thinking about driving Uber after work. Maybe weekends too. For a second I thought I misheard him. But then he kept going, talking about extra income, flexible hours, how it might help a little. And that is when I saw it clearly. This was not about money anymore. This was guilt. It was written all over him. The way he avoided eye contact. The way he kept trying to justify it before I even responded. Like he already knew how this sounded and needed me to understand. I just feel like I am not doing enough, he said quietly. And that broke something in me. Because I know him. He is already doing everything he can. Working all day. Coming home exhausted. Still showing up for our kids. Still trying to be present. Still trying to hold everything together. But now none of that feels like enough to him. Because every message, every call, every comparison from his family is slowly convincing him that he is failing. That being a good son means sacrificing more, even if it costs him everything else. And I could see the weight of it pressing down on him. The responsibility, the expectations, the fear of letting them down. But what scared me the most was that he was starting to believe them. That maybe he really should be doing more, even if it breaks him. I am serious, he said. I think I can make it work. I just stared at him. You are already working all day, I said slowly. When exactly are you planning to do this? After work. A few hours at night. Maybe weekends too. Like it was nothing. Like he was not already running on empty. I felt this wave of disbelief hit me. You mean the only time you actually have with your kids? The only time you are not completely exhausted? He sighed, rubbing his face. It is just temporary. That word again. Temporary. That is what they all say, I snapped. Your brother said it. Your sister said it. And now look at them. He did not respond right away. Just sat there quiet. I am not doing enough, he said finally, barely above a whisper. And that is when something in me shifted. Not doing enough? I repeated. You are holding this entire family together. But he shook his head. They are taking out loans, he said. They are sacrificing everything. And I am just here. Just here? I could feel my chest tightening. You are not just here, I said, my voice shaking now. You are here for your kids. For us. That matters. But she is my mom. There it was, that line again. The one that ends every argument. I took a deep breath trying to stay calm, but it was not working. And we are your family too, I said. Or does that only matter when it is convenient? His expression changed. Hurt. Defensive. That is not fair. No, what is not fair, I shot back, is you thinking you can just keep giving more when we do not have anything left to give. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Because deep down we both knew this was not just about Uber. It was about how much more he was willing to lose before something in our life finally broke. It did not stop there. If anything, it got worse. The calls became more frequent. The messages more direct. And this time they were not even trying to soften it. Your brother just took out another loan. Your sister picked up extra shifts again. We are all doing everything we can. And then the question that always followed, why are not you? That night he did not even wait for me to ask. They have a point, he said quietly. I felt my chest tighten. A point? I repeated. What point exactly? That I could be doing more. I let out a breath trying to stay calm, but I could already feel it slipping. We have been through this, I said. We do not have more to give. We could make it work, he pushed back. I could pick up extra hours. We would figure it out. At what cost? I asked. He did not answer. So I kept going. You are already exhausted. You barely get time with the kids as it is. And now you want to give that up too? She is my mom, he said again, firmer this time. And we are your family, I shot back. Your kids need you here. Not out driving strangers around at midnight trying to fix something that cannot be fixed like this. That is easy for you to say, he said, frustration creeping in. You are not the one getting those calls. Hearing them struggle, hearing her forget things. That hit harder than I expected. You think I do not care? I asked, my voice tightening. You think I am just sitting here being selfish? I did not say that. You do not have to, I said. It is in everything you are saying. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing now. I just do not want to look back and feel like I did not do enough. And I do not want to look back and realize we destroyed our own family trying to save something we could not control. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Because we were both right. And that was the problem. He was thinking about regret. About guilt. About what it means to be a son. And I was thinking about survival. About stability. About what it means to protect the life we have built. 2. The pressure did not just stay in the background anymore. It got louder, more direct, harder to ignore. One evening, his phone rang while we were sitting together. He hesitated, then answered. I was not trying to listen, but it was impossible not to. His brother's voice came through, tense and sharp. We are drowning over here, he said. I just put another charge on my card. Do you even understand what that feels like? My husband did not respond right away. Then his sister chimed in. She must have been on speaker. I picked up 2 extra shifts this week, she said. I barely see my kids anymore. But I am doing it. For her. There was a pause. And then what are you doing? That question just hung there. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Like it already had an answer they did not want to hear. I told you, my husband said quietly. I am helping where I can. But it is not the same, his brother snapped. We are sacrificing everything. Everything. That word landed hard. Do you think we are not? My husband pushed back, his voice tightening. You think this is easy for us? But they did not let up. We are not saying it is easy, his sister said. We are saying this is what family does. And there it was again, that line. That invisible line they kept drawing between those who were doing enough and those who were not. You do not want to be the one who did not show up, his brother added. Not when it matters. I watched my husband's expression change. That doubt creeping in. That quiet shift. Like maybe they were right. Like maybe he was falling short. After he hung up, he did not say anything. Just sat there, staring at nothing. And I could see it happening in real time, that slow, painful unraveling. The guilt, the pressure, the fear of being judged, not by strangers, but by his own family. And the worst part? A small part of him was starting to believe it. The words came out before I could stop them. I cannot do this anymore. He looked up at me, confused at first. Then tense. What do you mean? I could feel my heart pounding. My hands shaking. I mean this, I said, my voice unsteady but firm. This constant pressure, this expectation that we are supposed to give more when we do not have anything left to give. He stood up now, frustrated. She is my mom, he said again, like that was supposed to end the conversation. I know, I said, my voice breaking. I know she is. But we are your family too. Silence. Heavy. Sharp. You think I do not feel guilty? He shot back. You think this is easy for me? I know it is not. I snapped. That is the problem. It is tearing you apart, and now you are letting it tear us apart too. He shook his head, pacing. I am just trying to do the right thing. And what about us? I asked. What about your kids? What about the life we are barely holding together? He did not answer. Because there was not a good answer. I took a breath. And that is when I said it. Not calmly. Not carefully. Just honestly. If you do this, I said slowly, my voice trembling, if you start giving more money we do not have, if you work more hours and disappear even more from this family, I paused. Because even hearing myself say it felt unreal. But I did not stop. I will file for divorce. The room went completely still. No movement, no sound. Just that sentence hanging between us. He looked at me like he did not even recognize me. Like I had just become someone else. And maybe I had. Because I never thought I would be the kind of person who says something like that. But I also never thought we would be here standing on the edge of losing everything because he could not stop trying to save something that was already slipping away. We cannot save everyone. I keep telling myself that over and over again. Like if I say it enough, it will stop feeling so heavy. Because the truth is, someone is going to lose here. Either his mom or us. And I do not know if there is a version of this story where everyone walks away okay. I look at our life, what we have built, what we are barely holding together, our home, our routines, the little moments we still have as a family, and I wonder how much of that we are supposed to sacrifice before it is considered enough. Because if helping her means losing all of this, then what are we actually saving? But then there is this other voice in my head, the one that asks, what if I am wrong? What if I am the one being selfish? The one who drew a line where there should not be one? What if years from now he looks back and realizes I am the reason he did not do more for his own mother? I do not have an answer. I just know I am trying to protect the family right in front of me, even if it makes me look like the villain in someone else's story. So tell me, if you were in my place, would you stand your ground? Or would you sacrifice everything just to make sure you never feel that kind of guilt?